Oh dear souls of the past. It wasn't omnium exposure that turned you all into aberrants. It was how horrible Apex League is. Having to deal with the nemesis. And now people switching to Meryl Frigg. People thinking that Frigg is OP. When she's really not. She's not a strong unit by herself. But of course, when paired up into a meta comp, you just gotta deal with it. The electrodes eating animations, killing you while you're beating their ass. Meryl's holding left click. Magnetic pulses just giving CC immunity because people are scared to get their ass beat. It's okay, because I'm still here. I'll continue doing my best to pave the way to creative play, stylish gameplay, and combos. Even if I gotta deal with the bullshit as well. May all of your blessings be blessed upon me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome on back to the channel. For this video, I actually wanted to take the time to actually read the weapons and their star activations. I already know about them, right? But do you know about them? The reason why I want to do this is because last night when I was streaming, I realized how much of a madman I actually am for doing what I do to showcase how cool this game can be and to produce the fun content that you all are growing to love. So let's actually go in to the weapons and read about them and just wonder, why in the hell would I put myself through this cancerous experience, right? So starting off with Nemesis. First star, after using Pulse Lock or Particle Beam Burst, creates one electrode that immediately grants the user 5 stacks of healing chain enhance. In addition, unleash a healing chain that heals nearby allies by 135% of the Wanderer's attack. Next up, you know, we're not caring about the increased current damage. Then 3 stars. Every 6 seconds, the electrode will unleash Ring Lightning, which deals damage equal to a maximum of 205% of attack in a target area. The target area is extremely huge. It has a huge AoE. Moving on to the 5th star. After using Pulse Lock, increase the Wanderer's attack by 5 plus number of electrodes times 5% for 25 seconds, which means that if they have 2 electrodes down, then that's what the number of electrodes is times 5, which is going to be 10. So it's 5 plus 5 plus times 10, right? Percent, and then 6 stars to activate. Up to 2 electrodes can be active at the same time. Summoning more electrodes will replace the furthest ones from the user. Sorry, I ended up yawning. Anywho, so with this, we have 2 electrodes, in which case she doesn't have to do anything, and they do damage over time, and you can heal. That's already toxic, right? That's horrible. I hate it here. Now, when you get your discharge, the thing about the electrodes is that no matter which weapon you get your discharge with, I could be playing as Meryl and get my discharge, right? I could be playing as Tsubasa and get my discharge. The moment your discharge activates, the electrodes will hit you with the element that they are, in which case their type is Volt, which means that if you get hit by an electrode, you will be electrocuted and CC'd for a set amount of time. When the weapon is fully charged, the next attack will paralyze targets for 1 second and electrify them for 6 seconds, negating all buffs and dealing damage equal to 144% of attack. Targets can't receive any buffs for the next 6 seconds. So this means that even if you don't have Venus out, even if you don't have Nemesis out, you can have any other weapon you want out, but you will still get this benefit from the electrodes. Why? Next up, we're going to have Meryl. So we're going to scroll down, right? 1 star to activate. Increase shatter by 15% and restore 10% HP after shattering the target's shield. Okay, we're gonna go on. Upon switching to the weapon, gain an ice shield equal to 10% of max HP. Cooldown 20 seconds. The ice shield lasts up to 10 seconds, right? So this means that if they are respecting your ice shield and they are not breaking your ice shield, once your 10 seconds are up, you only have 10 seconds that you have to wait until you can get your ice shield back. Because for these 20 seconds, 10 of those seconds, you have your ice shield if it's not broken, okay? Also, your ice shield grants CC immunity. So, yeah, on top of Meryl, who can skill and has CC immunity. On top of Meryl, who can spin to win, just holding left click. Very skillful, by the way. Holding left click and having CC immunity. So, yeah, scrolling on down. Increase damage and shatter by 50% while the shield is active. The moment you switch to the shield, you will have 50% more shield damage. Why? Next up, upon switching to the weapon, gain an ice shield equal to 20% of max HP and immune to controls when shield is active. You see this? Immune to control effects when the shield is active. Cooldown 20 seconds. The ice shield lasts up to 10 seconds.
Why?
Alright, so now let's talk about Absolute Zero. Coco Reader, right? Let's go ahead and scroll on down. In which case, she's not so crazy until she gets to her 3-star. So, first star, after dodging, summon a healing bee that follows the user and heals the ally with the lowest percent of HP.
You're your own ally.
Within 15 meters, heal for 25% of attack and restore 50 weapon charge points each time and last for 25 seconds. Cooldown 25 seconds. Now mind you, restore 50 weapon charge, she can also do her dodge attack.
Not hit anything.
And regain your weapon charge. That is extremely dumb. So you have people that are just running away with Coco, or at the round start with Coco, dodge attack, dodge attack, dodge attack, dodge attack, and they have a whole bunch of meters so that the next time they hit you, they're going to end up freezing you because they already have like a 70% meter advantage on you, which makes no sense at all. You should not be starting the match with meter, but whatever. That's totally fine. That's cool, right? Scrolling on down, we have use Sanctuary or discharge skills to remove debuffs from targets. Can be used while being affected by control effects, which means while you're playing as Coco, if you have Coco out and you are being juggled, you can use Sanctuary because can be used while being affected by control effects. Increase shatter and damage dealt for all teammates within range by 20% and grant them immunity to control effects and shatter. What does this mean? You're getting healed and you literally cannot take damage for the most part, given how much you get back from heals. You will not be taking any damage for the most part. Even if you have 5% shield, you will not be getting shattered. And this lasts for 6 seconds. Combine this with the other stuff, with Meryl being able to hold left click, with Meryl being able to skill, with Meryl being able to just switch to Meryl in general and having her shield up, to then being able to use Coco for the sake of Sanctuary, on top of all of the sustainability that Nemesis has from using skill alone for whatever reason, and also doing dodge attack alone for whatever reason. Okay, let's continue. That's only the 3rd star, which is the biggest star of them all. Moving on, increase healing effect by 15% plus an additional 20% when healing targets with less than 60% HP. This is why you barely take any damage. If you are beating the brakes off of a Coco and she has less than 60%, she's having 15% on top of an additional 20%, which means that you're having a 35% healing rate back. Now, mind you, in PvP, it says, oh, healing is reduced by 50%. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. So lastly, The 6-star. Whenever a healing bee is summoned or disappears from battle, heal all allies for 100% of the user's attack. All allies within 10 meters of the healing bee also gain 15% all damage and healing boost. So now let's go over to Crow using the Thunder Blades. He isn't too crazy, to be honest, but the thing that makes him crazy is his damage. His kit is not crazy. His damage is crazy, along with his skill. So let's go ahead and read up. 1-star. Attacking targets from behind increases crit rate of all dual blades attacks by 40%. Backstabbing an electrified target increases crit rate by 100% and crit damage by 30%, which means that if he's about to get his discharge, right? And he hits you and you're electrified, or if there's electrodes down, which 9 times out of 10 there's going to be electrodes because everybody is so unique and uses their own comps and uses Nemesis. Nemesis is barely used by anybody in PvP.
I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
So this means that if Crow is about to have his discharge, or discharge in general, right? The electrodes can shock you. And then they can hit you with the drill from behind.
No pause, by the way.
Hit you with the drill from behind. Their crit rate is 100%, which means that every single one of their hits are going to be crit. And it's increased by 30%. Continuing on, 3 stars. Increase damage by 30% to targets with less than 60% HP. So not only are you getting this, you're also doing more damage to people that you already damaged. So now we're going to continue. Triggering a back attack grants a 100% crit chance for the next 4 seconds, which means that you can use your dodge attack. You're going to get a back attack because you end up slicing a whole bunch, and increases crit damage by 50%. So you're increasing it by 50% on top of the 30% here, so you're having an 80% damage, and then you have the 30% damage increase in general that's not even crit damage. Okay, so now we're going to continue on to the 6-star. After using a skill, increase volt damage dealt to the target by 20% for 20 seconds. And then we go into his skill, right? We're gonna go into his skill so that you can actually see what his skill does. Fires 6 returning blades, each dealing damage equal to 52.8% of attack plus 3. Gains hyper body for up to 8 seconds, and the effect is removed when the blades return. If you guys don't know what hyper body is, hyper body means that you have CC immunity, which means that you can take damage, yes, but you will not be launched, you will not be stunned, you will not be knocked down, you will not be knocked back. You will not get frozen. You will not get shocked. You will not get affected by anything that prevents you from pressing a button. None of that will affect you. All from his skill. Why? So these are just the weapons, right? So now with the new, meta, everybody's going to be adding Frigg. Everybody's going to be trying to replace Coco and replace her with Frigg for the sake of the, the resonance with Meryl, right? So we're going to scroll down. Elemental Resonance, Frost Resonance. Increase Frost attack by 15% and Frost resistance by 25%. Activate by equipping 2 or more Frost weapons. This set's effect also works with weapons in the offhand slot. This effect does not stack. So now we're going to go down to the advancements, in which case the advancements are crazy. Frigg isn't a crazy character. She's a good character, but she's not a crazy character. But when you combine this with all the other shit, that's what makes it busted. It makes it a meta comp rather than Frigg being a meta unit. You need Frigg in order to complete the comp, but the comp isn't difficult because as long as you have Nemesis, as long as you have Meryl, as long as you have Coco, you have a meta comp. You'd be like, oh my goodness, Nemesis Meryl 0 is broken. Oh, well, no, not even 0. You can say Nemesis, Meryl, and fucking Echo is broken. Why? Because they're being carried by this. They're being carried by the benefits of this. You're not getting your ass beat by Meryl. Everyone is holding left click and using skill. Nobody fights with Meryl. Why? Because she's slow as hell. That's why. The only time that you're going to be getting a launcher is if you hit him with the ultimate and you decide to go with the launcher, because that's guaranteed. But is anybody going to do that for sauce? Is anybody going to do that for style? No. What are they going to do? They're going to hit you with the ultimate, they're going to hold left click, and then they're going to use their skill if they know how to optimally go for damage with Meryl, right? So anyway, we're going to go back to Frigg and scroll on down. 1 star to activate. Gain 1 frostiness point every time you deal 550% damage. Percent times frost attack of damage in the frost domain, which means you have to be in the frost domain doing this and you gain a stack, right? Up to 10 frostiness points can be accumulated. When the frost domain ends, frostiness points times the frost attack times 90% of blast damage will be dealt to all enemies in the frost domain. So pretty much you're just gaining up stacks so that once your frost domain explodes, then you'll be doing that bonus damage. After leaving the frost domain, lose 1 frostiness point every 3 seconds. So now 2 stars activate, doesn't really matter. 3 stars increase frostiness limit to 15. When using discharge skills of frost weapons in the frost domain, deal damage equal to 20% of frost attack to all targets in the frost domain, which means that people are going to put down the frost domain and then they're going to switch to Meryl so that they can hold left click and deal even more damage, so that they can switch to Meryl and they can use their skill and do even more damage, so that they can switch to Meryl, freeze you, use the ultimate and deal even more damage, right? They're using her for the benefits. They're not using her because they're good with Frigg. Everybody that plays this, that pretty much runs meta, is ass at this game. I'm calling it right now. They're pretty much ass. That's as simple as that. They try to use other stuff, they get fucked up by meta, so then they use meta, and then if they run into somebody who's using off meta, they think they're good when they're not good. Anyway, we're going to continue. So now with the 6 stars, when frostiness reach 15 points and you are in the frost domain, you will get an additional domain of frost 2 that increases frost attack by 12% when frost weapons are used. All of this is to increase and buff Meryl. It's not because Frigg is busted herself. Is she really good? Yes. Does her skill give her iframes? Yes. Does she have infinite dodges? Yes. However, she's not invincible during her infinite dodges. And her attacks herself barely does any damage. So when you see this, when you see Frigg, Meryl, and Nemesis, understand that it's because it's completing another meta comp, right? Meta weapons is Nemesis, Meryl, Coco, and Crow. Why? Because they are meta units. They can actually solo, right? For the most part. Actually, I wouldn't even say Coco. Coco, she can help you, but Coco gets fucked up if you know what you're doing, right? If it's just Coco by herself isn't anything, right? She can get interrupted on all of her stuff, and she really only has her skill going for her. But I'd say that the worst meta weapons would be Zero, right? Crow, Meryl, and Nemesis. These are the best meta weapons to use as a solo unit. You have Crow so that you can drill and instantly kill people. You have Meryl who can just hold left click, CC immunity, press skill, CC immunity. When you switch to Meryl, you have the shield, in which case is CC immunity and it's additional health. You have Nemesis that can solo because she has electros down because she doesn't know how to fight herself, and people want to be punanas, run away and let the electrodes do all the work and get all the benefits without doing shit. They cancel your animations, they shock you, they deal damage. They could be getting fucked up, the electros will be fucking you up. It makes no sense. And she heals on top of that. So those are meta units. Meta comps would be a combination of those units. And now Frigg is going to be added to that, as I explained for Meryl. Now all of this is just the weapons. Then we go into relics, right? We go into relics, and then we're going to take a look at Koan. Koan. The first star. When shield is broken, reduce the speed of the attacker by 35% for 6 seconds. Second star. After shield breaks, increase final damage by 20%. In which case, a lot of people don't even use final damage. A lot of people don't even know what final damage is. What final damage is that it's the last attack of your attack sequence, right? That's what final damage is. But people don't even make use of that. Anyway, 3 stars. After shield breaks, increase speed by 30%. So not only are you decreasing them by 35%, you're increasing your speed by 30%. Now, this one, for whatever reason, this is what irritates me. Reduce flame damage received by 1.5% even if not deployed, unavailable in Apex League. Right here is important. Unavailable in Apex League. There is a feature in this game that prevents things from being used in the Apex League. Right? So why is all that broken shit allowed in the Apex League when they have it right here? This is the most useless star here. This is the most useless one. However, they have it unavailable in the Apex League. Because they have this in the description and they are capable of doing it, they could easily put this on all the broken stars, on the weapons, etc., and just simply put unavailable in the Apex League. That would make it 10 times better. Anywho, 5th star. If the shield breaks, gain a 5-second damage reflection effect, reflecting 0.6 times the damage taken back to the attacker. So we have that along with magnetic pulse, right? Where's magnetic pulse? Here it is. So we have magnetic pulse. The 1st star can be used while under control effects, which means if you are getting juggled, right? If you are frozen, if you are shocked, anything, you are able to use magnetic pulse as a get off me tool, and it is a 35-second cooldown. What's the thing on Koan? It's a 30-second cooldown, which means that every 30 seconds you have Koan. Every 35 seconds you have magnetic pulse, which means that every 35 seconds, the moment you start getting juggled, like I said, or affected by anything, you are able to use magnetic pulse to get them off you. Now, the benefits of magnetic pulse grants immunity to control effects for the next 5 seconds, which means that you have hyper body. Granting immunity to control effects is hyper body when the character is glowing orange, right? So not only do you have Meryl hold left click, not only do you have Meryl's skill, not only do you have Meryl's shield, not only do you have Crow's skill, not only do you have Coco's skill, but now you also have magnetic pulse, which also grants you even more immunity and knocks them away from you. And then the 3rd star, upon hitting the target, plant a 7-second magnetic bomb that detonates if the target uses normal attacks, dodges / skills, causing 40% slow for 5 seconds and disappears after detonation. So that means that for 5 seconds, you cannot attack, you cannot dodge, and you cannot use skills if you do not want to be slowed by 40% for 5 seconds. All of these tools are handicap ass tools that allow players to be punanas or be straight bitch and succeed in Apex, ruining the experience for anybody like myself and anybody that is inspired by me, that wants to play like me, that actually wants to use combos and use the mechanics in this game to actually have fun. Why? Because all of this busted shit that makes no sense. Bringing it back full circle to the beginning of this video is when you actually sit down and break down everything, right? And you break down everything and actually read up on everything, and you really think about the combinations that people are doing, right? To pretty much play God. Why in the hell would you ever touch Apex League? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? You're asking to be butt fucked. Literally, you are asking to go through the most rage-inducing experience, all for the sake of making a statement. That is not about the win. It's about making a statement. The win is important, yes, but it's more so the statement of you are able to do it without meta. However, it showcases how stupid absurd meta is, right? And it goes to show how cool the game can be mechanically and stylish wise, but then how cheesy the game can be as well. And it's making the statement of how all of these players really don't have any skill. The only skill that they have is within mirror matches. to try to outsmart the other player. But where the fuck the fun is that? Why are you damage sponging one another? There's nothing there. You're literally just proccing everything in a sequence to try and do damage. But neither of you are getting knocked down. Neither of you are getting knocked over, launched, combo, none of that. Barely. There's no reason as to why almost 5 minutes should go by and neither of you have taken one stock. That shit is stupid. Oh my goodness. Now, to reassure the players that end up, playing meta, and it's the only units that they pulled, obviously, you can't fault you for that, right? If those are the only units that you pulled, so be it. That you really can't do much about that. You could try to style and play, for fun in the way that I do all you want, but it's unfortunate that you gain, or the only units that you have are the meta units. Now, what you could do is not play them like a hoe, and you could actually try to be creative with them. Never have I once actually gotten juggled by a crow in Apex, gotten juggled by a nemesis in Apex, or gotten juggled by a Meryl in Apex. But if you decide to actually try to bring style to that comp, then more power to you. That's awesome. No one can really complain because you're actually doing your best to fight. You're actually doing your best to use what the character has for tools. So overall, this was pretty much a rant video, and just to really showcase what I'm doing out here. A lot of you support me. I greatly appreciate it. A lot of you give me credit. I've been getting compliments of, the sickest PvP player in TOF, be it, one of the most skilled TOF PvP players, etc. And I greatly appreciate that. I'll continue making content for you guys who all enjoy. But I just had to really showcase, bro, you'd have to be mentally unstable to actually willingly go into that. In which case, now I'm at that point. In the beginning, I didn't read up on all of this, right? In the beginning, I didn't read up on all of this. I was fresh to it. I was just hopping into PvP just to hop into PvP. But now, knowing that all of this bullshit is a thing, but still going in, shows how much that I'm really here for you guys. So, again, I appreciate the support because you guys keep me going. It's great. My mental is shattered. Take it easy, guys.